Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Masters of the Universe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia, Terror Claw Skeletor. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here we have Mattel, 6 and up, 30 points of articulation, piece of tape, Masterverse, and that nice rocky 1980s explosion takes you right on back, my friends. Small window showcasing a slight view of the figure and accessories, and then just nice artwork that we always get with Masters of the Universe packaging. Here is Terror Claw Skeletor himself facing what appears to be King Hiss, not his first time appearing on Masterverse packaging, or New Eternia packaging. And there in the background we've got Cobra Khan and Snake Mountain, or at least the Snake Tower of Eternia, perhaps. Yeah, that's what that looks more like. Then here we have Terror Claw Skeletor, and on this side just some artwork of Skeletor by himself. Did I cover the bottom? No, I didn't. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in Vietnam print, MattelShop.com. Contents: one figure, accessories, a question mark, assortment numbers if you need that kind of thing, and a barcode. Now we'll finally move around to the back where we have nice practical photography of the figure and then some close-ups of some of his features. And then there's another artist's rendering of Skeletor. Terror Claw Skeletor, evil claw-swinging leader. The diabolical Lord of Destruction crafted the only weapon that will allow him to stand nose-to-nose in a melee battle with He-Man, the dreaded Terror Claws. Also available, each sold separately, subject to availability. This figure, New Eternia Terror Claw Skeletor, New Eternia Ninjor, and New Etheria She-Ra. Mattel empowering generations through play. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And let's start off with the accessories. And we will start off with the Terror Claws themselves. So I have to say it's got a nice, I'm going to say it's molded in this purple. And if it's not purple, I am just guessing. I'm colorblind, don't make fun of handicapped people. And then it's got some nice red on these eye deco parts. At least I think it's red. And then some silver for this deco part in these hoses. And then bits of it seem like there might be a wash, but I don't really see a lot of that going on there. And then we've got some black up in here. Nice molded details for the most part. You know, very medievally looking. And a surprise to me is the Terror Claws rotate and they are hinged. So I was not expecting that. Now you can see there's a port right here, and we'll get right to that. You have this silver hose, and it's made out of a flexible material, so it doesn't stretch or anything, but it does move with the figure a bit. And you can see it's got a post here, and then it's got a post back here. This post, we'll go ahead and put it into place in this port right here on the glove. And once it gets in there, it will rotate. So that helps with posability as well. And the other side, it's pretty much the same colors, same decos, same hinges and rotation, same port, opposite side hose and opposite side hand as well. So, but still, this hose fits in just like the other one, and again, it does rotate there at the base to help with some posability. Only 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers though, and I think that's what the original had. If not, let me know in the comments. So now we've got handy dandy tweezers to help us with the last accessory, in which this is the visor that goes in here. And I'm not going to say I hate this piece, but I'm not in love with it. It's hard to get in and out. Hard to get out more than in. But it is made of a translucent plastic, and it does fit in place well, and we'll get to that in just a moment. You can see it's got a little dot right there, so when it goes in, it kind of holds it into place. So, again, not my favorite. Well, let's talk about Skeletor, and we'll raise the camera a little bit so we can take a better look at him. And I'm gonna say this is not my favorite deco for Skeletor face. I mean, I like the red eyes in there, but it just, I don't know, the paint just kind of seems slopped on there, in my opinion. I do like the design on the helmet though, it's pretty cool. And for the most part, I like the overall design of it. You know, reuse of the pretty much everything. These are new, I think. This might even be new. I'm not 100% sure. That, it might be retooled because I've seen that before. They just may be reusing that. But nice skull on here, silver paint, and for the hose as well. And that goes around to the back. Nice purples. And then the blues. It's got some silver here for like he's got some bionic enhancements going on. Kind of like the New Adventures Skeletor. Now the armor is removable, unlike the original figure who was molded with this piece on here. But, you know, you can take this off. And then the gloves look kind of neat. And that reminds me, there's something I did not mention about the Terror Claws, and I'll get back to that in just a minute. And so this is a red paint app, and I'm assuming it's molded in this color. Kind of like gunmetal-y. And then nice purples for the boots. And again, I think these are new pieces right on down to the feet. Although the feet look a little small, in my opinion. Your mileage, of course, may vary. So, let's talk about his articulation. The head is on a dumbbell. It'll look up that high. It'll look down that far. He's got a ton of chicken neck. He's got some waggle. He can do the full exorcist. He also has an articulated jaw. Ah! So, that's always good when they give Skeletor the articulated jaw. No butterflies yet in the shoulders. 360 degrees of rotation though. And about 90 degrees worth of raise there at the shoulder as well. Cut here at the upper bicep, 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinless elbow. And it gives you that much bend, so that's pretty good. Ooh, a little bit of paint slop right there around the gloves. So 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on in and out hinge and in and out. No, up and down hinge on the other side. So there's that cut where the chest and the abdomen meet, and it gives him hula, and it gives him 360 degrees of rotation. And he can lean back that far and forward that far, and he can lean left and right. Straight cut at the waist, 360 degrees of rotation there. Pull down hinge at the hips, and it gives him almost the full splits. The skirt piece here is kind of hindering it just a tad. So he can kick forward that far, and again, this might be hindering it just a little bit, but not by much. and then back that far. Put those back in place. Cut here at the upper thigh. 360 degrees of rotation there. That was early. Double hinged pinless knee, and it gives you that much bend, so that's pretty good. At the top of the shin, a boot cut for another 360 degree rotation. And at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as the terror claws go, you do have to remove his regular hands, and maybe you can see inside there is a peg, and that goes on, you know, fits right in to where the hand just removed from. And there's no, well, I say there's not, there seems to be, no, that's the elbow movement. So there's no movement on the inside of the wrist, it's all on this outside part. So once you've got that in place, then you port that in, and you'll get a nice satisfying snap with that. And you do the same thing for the other side. Now, there is no storage for the regular hands when he's wearing the claws, which this is how he's going in the display, of course, because he's Terror Claw Skeletor. Why wouldn't you display him with his terror claws? So again, that one ports right on there, and then this hose piece ports right into the back. And then, so, you know, he's got some nice movement in there. It won't rotate all the way around. The hoses do get, you know, in the way a little bit, but they can move out of the way some too. So there is that. Now let's take a look at that final piece, the piece that I don't 100% care for. I mean, I don't really care for this face, so maybe this helps covering it up some. So it just kind of, those two tabs on the side just kind of slide in there behind the helmet, and there you go. That's how he looks with the piece on there. And it's a nice translucent piece. You can see the eyes. Even with the lights, you can see the red in there. Maybe not on the shelf, you wouldn't be able to see that, but there it is, my friends. Terror Claw Skeletor in all of his terrifying glory and loose ankles. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia, Terror Claw Skeletor, with the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia Battle Armor Skeletor, and the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia Barbarian Skeletor. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Terror Claw Skeletor, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Masters of the Universe Masterverse, Masters of the Universe New Eternia Terror Claw Skeletor, I have to say, the overall look of this version of Terror Claw Skeletor, I like. The gloves are a little bit oversized, but that adds to the terror, I guess. They don't really strike me necessarily as scary. The scariest part of this figure is the bad paint job on the head. It doesn't look good to me, and maybe part of that is the helmet and the visor. Well, the visor helps cover it up at least. But I really don't like the deco on this Skeletor head. It doesn't, this is supposed to be a scary Skeletor. He's Terror Claw Skeletor, and that head is anything but, well, it's terrible. It's not terroristic, though, if that makes sense. It does not strike terror into my soul. So, there's that. Now, the overall look of it, again, it's an interesting look. The hoses are a neat touch. The mechanical parts embedded in his arm, that's a cool touch. I think that's new. I don't think the original had that. I don't remember it anyway. And then, I like his chest armor, that overlay. I think that's pretty cool too, as well as the new, at least I think they're new, boots and the feet. And then I like the fact that, the original figure, the claw just kind of clipped in his hands, over his hands. This one, you pull the hands out and they peg in, into his wrist ports. And I like that. And I really like the fact that they included some articulation in the claws, in the fact that it has swivel at the wrist, and it also has a hinge there at the wrist as well. So to me, that's a great addition to it for this version of the figure. And the little bit of paint that's on here, I like the silver. It makes the skull on the chest stand out. It makes those hoses stand out. It makes the small bionic parts, I guess, on his arms stand out, and it makes those bird heads on the Terror Claw stand out. So that's neat. I like that they gave him a removable visor. It is a little bit of a pain to take out. It's pretty easy to get back in there for the most part, but getting it out is a bit of a butt pain. So just be aware of that. If you're a fan of Terror Claw Skeletor, you will probably like this figure. If you're expecting something on the level of Battle Armor Skeletor with this figure, you're going to be disappointed. It's definitely not on that level. That is probably one of, if not the best Skeletor figure that I own. The best looking one, at least. And I never was that big a fan of Battle Armor Skeletor, but I am now. And, Terror Claws, this one doesn't have the arm swinging feature, but, that's okay if that's something you're looking for. I think the Origins figure might have had that feature in it, to where, you'd swivel him at the waist with your thumb, and he would swing his arms up and down as he twisted back and forth. But, again, the overall look of this guy is good, and I guess I've rambled on long enough. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, sorry about that, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better than Skeletor falling down and not wanting to stand back up. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. Skeletor, what are you doing? That's a wrap, folks. As soon as I can get him standing up, maybe. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time, hopefully without a Skeletor falling down.